Hey, what's going on guys? Chad here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the MZ1 Wireless, the long-awaited mouse from XTRFY and Rocket Jump Ninja. And right off the bat with the price, this mouse is coming in at $120, and there's two colorways available right now. There's black and white, and they do have the option to customize the top shell for an additional $5. And they have all kinds of colors there you can see on the website. Inside the box, along with the mouse, you get a cable and dongle and also an extra set of PTFE feet, along with a screwdriver and the manual. And now they include a low profile rear shell for the back of the mouse, which is a huge deal, and we're going to talk more about this here in a minute, but I love this feature and I'm so glad they included this. Now there's no software for the mouse. All of the settings are adjusted directly on the mouse, and the manual has all the info on how to do that, so make sure to hang on to it. So the size and shape are exactly the same as before, but with the included extra shell, you can now change the height at the rear of the mouse, and this allows you to tuck the mouse deeper into your palm with certain grips. And this was really a game changer for me personally. My hand size is 19 by 11, and I had trouble aiming on the original because the back of the mouse would run into my palm, and this extra piece allows my hand to move more freely while holding the mouse, so I think it's a great addition. So seeing as how this is a wireless mouse now, of course it has a battery inside of it, and the battery here is a 500 milliamp battery, and it's rated for 75 hours of battery life. And if you want to check the battery life, you can do so by squeezing mouse 1 along with the 2 side buttons for 3 seconds, and it'll flash giving you a color to indicate where the battery life is at. The sensor here is a 3370, and it sits in exactly the same place as the wired model. And so far I've had flawless wireless performance and tracking with this sensor, and thanks to Rocket Jump Ninja, we don't really have to worry too much about sensors these days because he put a lot of time into his previous videos calling out junky sensors, and most mice nowadays have a pretty decent performing sensor. But if you want all the specs, I'll go ahead and put them up here, and you can just pause the video real quick. The texture here is the same as before. It's a smooth plastic with no coating, and they did add a few more holes to the shell in certain places compared to the wired version to lower the weight, which is coming in at 62 grams. And also this mouse does have the adjustable weight system, which they have on the M4 Wireless and the M42 Wireless. And you can use the included screwdriver to shift the weight forward or backwards depending on your preference. And also you can use that same screwdriver to open up from the bottom and pop the shells off and customize your colors that way. So I've already filmed all of my B-roll for this video, and I've taken these two mice apart a lot. I wanted to get all kinds of combinations and shots and everything for you guys so you can see how they look and stuff, but I'm really impressed how well everything has gone back together. I don't have any like loose parts or weird plastic bits that are like torn or just loose or not feeling good in general, you know. Everything feels nice and tight, just like it came from the factory, which is great to see. The build quality feels fantastic. All 4 of my copies, the old one and the new ones, they do have a little bit of creaking, but there's no flexing at all. They just kind of make a little bit of noise every now and then if you try to squeeze them, but I don't notice that in game at all, and it's not a big deal for me. So on the original MZ1, everybody talked about how good the clicks were, and they used the Kill 8.0s, and it's no different here. And honestly, on my 2 wireless copies, the clicks actually feel a little bit crispier and snappier than on my wired ones, which is crazy because my first MZ1 was really impressive. Buttons 1 and 2 feel fantastic overall, and they have very minimal post and pre-travel. They feel great, they sound great, they're some of my favorite clicks, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. And I don't have any button wobble on buttons 1 or 2, so it feels really good, which is key with this mouse because of the design. The way it plants your fingers in here, if there was button wobble, it'd be really noticeable, so I'm really happy to say that there's none here. Now on the original MZ1, the side buttons for me didn't feel that great. Like, they were totally usable and fine, but these feel way better for me, at least on my copies, and it's a night and day difference on the side buttons for both copies. So I really love the side button implementation here. It feels fantastic. And you know, I love the scroll on the original MZ1, and it's no different here. You know, it's tactile, it's smooth, it's quiet, it's got a really nice rubber grip to it, and it's got some RGB, which looks pretty sweet. And they did make this one easier to spam. Both copies that I have, I can spam the scroll wheel, you know, if I'm playing Apex or whatever, and it's no problem now, so that's really nice. The scroll wheel here is just so freaking good. It's my favorite scroll wheel of all my mice. So if you have an MZ1 wired, then you know the button up top controls the hub on the bottom, and you can choose whichever setting you want to change with that button up there. But now instead of having the polling rate on this little hub down here, it's on the bottom of the mouse, and the CPI is on this little hub down here. So you can control your CPI with the button up top, which I think is a really nice change. So if there are people that want to change their DPI on the fly, you can easily do that now. So that's a really great change. The feet here are exactly the same. The cable that comes with the mouse is pretty good. It's gold plated, it's 1.8 millimeters long, pretty flexible, and I really don't notice it too much. And if you used it in a bungee, you're not gonna notice it at all really. But with 75 hours of battery life, you're not gonna have it in all the time, so not too big of a deal to worry about either way. So obviously there's less RGB on this version than the wired, and they did that to save on battery life. But this design to me looks really clean, and I actually like it way better than the other one. So gaming on this mouse has been really fun for me. My aim has been very good. The way it just hugs my fingers, man, I said this in the original review, it feels like a race seat for your fingers, right? Because look, I can control this mouse. My hand's not even on this thing right now. Like, look at that. I can't do that with any other mouse that I own, and it just really speaks volumes to how it like locks your fingers in these grooves. I like a lot of pressure on the index finger and controlling the mouse with that when I aim, because that's where I feel like I'm putting the most pressure on any part of the mouse. And for me, this mouse lets me do that really well because the buttons are low and they're relatively flat too. A lot of mice have that kind of curve up top here, like the Viper Ultimate that I used to use has quite a bit of curve there. So when you go back and forth from like a claw to a fingertip grip, you're not gonna have as much contact. And that for me really does affect aim. Like for me, it's all about having as much contact and as much control as possible. And this mouse definitely does that very, very well. With the addition of the new shell, I think this mouse is a safe bet now for pretty much any grip except for palm grip. And I couldn't say that before because the hump was just too high and too many people would just run into it with their palms. But now I think that issue is fixed for the most part, at least for me it is. And I think it's gonna be a more versatile mouse for most people. And it's not gonna be such a niche thing, and it's gonna appeal to a wider audience now. So for those of you who are holding out because of that back hump in the mouse, like, I think it's a safe bet to go ahead and pull the trigger now if that was the only thing holding you back. The additional hump really is a game changer for me, and it will be for many other people too, I think. And it's just a really great package now. It's so well rounded. The weight's there, performance, the looks, the customization, the quality, the shape, the size, like everything is very, very good on this mouse, and it's an easy mouse to recommend. So yeah, that's all I got for this one, guys. If you have any questions on this mouse, let me know, drop a comment down below and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.